but the average is 51 per capita. And so even if our request was granted, we're still way below average. So I think that kind of helps put it into like, was she just crazy over there, you know, asking for this? Or how do we compare? You know, with Pella, I think Pella isn't on this list, they're a little bit over. They're 51 per capita. I know that's what. Spencer, I think, is at 49, 48. What's that?
Where's their tax base?
You know, those are numbers I don't have, but I feel like it's something that I can show that I don't think we're out of bounds with what our peer group is doing. In fact, we're below. And, you know, for the building and the debt repaying, we raised about $500,000 for that project.
You raised $500,000?
Right.
To pay towards the project?
Right.
That's out of the million we spent. It was about half.
About half.
Right.
Yeah, which they did.
Right.
Well, I need to go a different tack maybe.
Okay.
What about your board and then the Friends of the Library? Does the board help you put together the budget, or do they help you put together hours, or what's the board do?
Yeah, that's, in fact, you know, by, you know, city ordinance and state
I figured
code.
I'd get him off somehow. That's what it is.
Well, I can try to at least talk about that particular issue. The members of the board, not us all, we have a committee that works, and they came up with this budget. Now, it is obviously in conjunction with Shirley.
Right.
I mean, you know, we're not.
You gotta start somewhere.
We're coming, you know,
You gotta
hocus
start somewhere.
pocus, holy schmocus.
Yep.
But that is a group of people, I didn't happen to be on that particular committee, but that was a group of three,
To Dr. Stelzer.
yeah, two people that
Two
sat
people
down. Yeah.
help Shirley come up with the budget, but then does the board approve it before it comes? to
Yes,
you?
we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
We work with
yeah,
that.
we look through
I
it
just
and.
wanna make sure
yeah.
that I understand the process.
Yeah, that's the process that we
Because
go
I'm
through.
looking at the fact that if you got a full board out there, why the heck do we micromanage all these numbers? Why don't we just give them a number?
And-
130,000 or something, and say, that's what you get.
That's what you get.
And then you guys figure out if there's hours, if there's part-time, if it's collections, if it's fees. I think you guys all have the same community interest we do.
And that, Mr. Knapp, would be exactly what we would do, what we do at the end of the time.
Right.
What we are providing you here with, or anybody else who wants to look at it, is where do we think that this money is going to be spent?
Exactly.
So that you understand, we're not spending it all on this or all on that or whatever. But you're right, you're going to come up with a number that is your subsidy,
Yeah.
and we're then going to work with that number.
That's,
But I'm also going to say, and you know, you have a very challenging job here of what you guys are doing. I understand that. And what you're trying to do at the library, and with probably all services, but I'm here with the library, is the fact that you are looking at what can we provide for our taxpayers and what can we not provide.
Yep.
Because when we take out $100, $10,000, whatever you take out of any of these budgets, I suppose, but ours in particular I'll talk about. If we take out ours, we are basically talking about denial of services. That's what we're talking about. Because you can't come in that day. Maybe it's the only day I have available to be in with my children. Maybe it is, maybe I have lots of other choices. But, and that's the way that I look at it. That's the way our board looks at it. And I think that's probably, you are aware of that. If we have less money in a materials budget, we're talking about less, again, a denial of services. We can't provide you with what you need or want. And that's kind of where we're at. And that's the board's, but you're absolutely right. If you said, we're gonna give you $1 million, that's what we'd work with. If you say, we're gonna give us $10,000, I have no way of changing that, so that's what we work with.
right, and I guess, that's why I started out the meeting by preference, and the 11.9 is not something we just chose out of the middle of the air. It's something that's kind of regulated by state
Yes.
rules based upon what we have and our debt, which is minimal and stuff like that. My wife, when I gave through her some of these numbers, she said, well, I think you ought to fix up more playgrounds and stuff like that. And I said, but we can't tax for that. And she said, that's not right. And I said, I don't care if it's right or wrong, that's the way the law is. That's kind of the box that we're in too. So we're trying to figure out how to put these boxes together. I'm going, okay, so that if I cut the library, are they gonna reduce services? Or can they find more friends of the library that wanna donate $100 a year on it, so they get some money every year? I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box here on a little bit with the hours and the part-time, because that's the line that sticks out to me. It sticks out to me also because I think it's even a little bit higher than what you're gonna have based upon what you had in the first 6 months. But I just think the math is that the number should be 125 versus 135, but that's just stupid math that I like to do on all the numbers, because it's only at 47% of what the request was last year. So I think there's some room there, but you know, collections, I don't have any idea if you're buying 80%, it's 73%, or 63% of the stuff in the first 6 months. And you probably do know, but that's not, if I started knowing all the stuff, I'd be in real trouble. So our problem is that we're kind of perplexed, because we're going through, yeah, we don't wanna deny services, but on the same token, we wanna figure out how we can shoehorn this 45 grand in there and not have a huge increase to this fund. And I know that's not, you know, your 45 grand, but it is just like if you bought a house or whatever, you still gotta pay for it. So, you guys did tremendous by fundraising last year. I just didn't know if there was some ongoing fundraising besides the grant process that was available to you, or if that's something you'd rather not pursue. And then, like I said, if we give you a number, basically then, I think you guys are all intelligent people that can figure out how to.
Well,
I can say this.
The other thing that I wanted to dovetail off of what he said, and I know, we go back to the hours thing, but you take the Lamar's Daily Sentinel, used to be a 5-day paper. For 100 years, it was a 5-day paper. And at some point in time, Lamar's Daily Sentinel says, we gotta go to 4. So, the library, I'm not gonna go into all the good qualities, and I believe they're all good qualities, but the point is if you close for an afternoon or a couple afternoons, if it is really a priority for the person who wants to use it, they're going to adjust their schedule to come in, because if I wanna eat at Archie's, I don't get the option to eat there on Monday nights or Sunday nights. I just don't get the option. That's, I think, what I'm trying to say in this, is I cannot believe that, I agree with Rex. We come up with a number and we say, here's your number. And if all this excitement is there, which I believe it is, then fundraising should not be to make up the shortfall. Shouldn't be a problem.
Well, there's a couple different avenues for fundraising. One of them is that the Friends are their own 501c3, and technically they should not be underwriting the expenses that the city should be providing.
Okay.
They're not, that's not why a Friends of a Library exists. That is to do the extra. So what you don't see in here, you see our programming budget is pretty small. There's a bump because some of the county funding gets assigned to programming. But a lot of the programming dollars are off on the side because that goes to either the trust and agency or directly to the Friends. So you don't even see that section, doesn't hit this spreadsheet. So,
Is that roughly $5 grand a year, 10 grand a year, 2 grand a year?
if we look at trust, grants, and Friends, I think last year it was 13,000. Yeah. So that doesn't go to
I've been
operating,
sitting here for a long time, and I didn't know that.
right?
I mean, you know, I've been sitting here for a long time. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that there was Friends and they came up with some money, but I didn't know what it got used for.
Right, and that goes for, you know, a lot of the summer reading prizes, a lot of the winter
It can't go for
programs,
people. No, it has to
all
go
kinds
for
of
certain
things,
items.
yeah,
Yep, okay.
that we wouldn't use tax dollars for.
Go ahead.
So yes, I think, yeah, costs do go up, I guess I'm guilty as charged on that one. You know, with some of our vendors, sometimes they negotiate a non-increase on a database. And, you know, we do receive some memorial money that goes into our trust account generally, but some of our grants go right into that grant line item. So, I think we run a pretty tight budget.
There's one thing I wanna compliment you on, and that is,
I've heard you have a debt problem, and I'd like to help you with it.
That's the reason I like Rob's idea. X number of dollars, run it.
Right. We've always tried to. I will say,
That's,
the last couple of months have been a little bit hard on our budget. We've had a lot of rooftop units all of our rooftop units have needed repair. I think the cheapest is 680. The others have been 800. So, but we tried to watch that very carefully, and the board watches it every month.
Initially, you stay in it month or year by year. You stay in that budget.
so, what do we say? Say you? Pick a number.
Get a number, Carl?
Got a number, Mark? Got a number, Rex?
Well, other concern I have is the Red Lake loan payment, where does that come in?
It isn't in here. It's,
Yeah, is that gonna be in addition to what?
Well, but it's in the overall budget, that's part of our 186 short.
That is,
Yes.
I have to admit, and I'll be the first to ignorance, that one got by me.
yeah.
The 45,000, I didn't see it. So we're really sitting at 500,000.
Well, if I see our budget as an operating budget, not as a capital budget, where that money was used for a capital improvement. So, and you look at the equipment list, and I don't know that we've ever been on.
So it's capital
But-
improvement,
but
it's
if
still
you-
gotta be paid back.
But if she
Sure.
put the 45 into improvements and we had 500, that would be the budget, that's what we'd be talking with all the rest of the departments on.
Right.
And the question is, will we do the 45, will we do the 45 one of 8, just like we're buying a backhoe 1 of 5, or a trencher 1 of 4, we're doing the payments over time. So the 45 gets to stay there. The deal is you got a 454 shortfall without the 45.
Right.
And maybe we're sitting there saying, we got 440 instead of 454.
409, take 45 out.
Well, you can take the 45 out, I'm just not sure, Dick, that they got 45 a room.
Yeah,
I'm
we
not
don't
sure
have
they-
that kind of room in this
I'm not sure they
budget.
got 14 a room. But at 45 a room, we might have 2 people faint in front of us.
I guess I would prefer that we didn't get penalized for an interest-free loan that we helped procure. I mean, the city staff helped us with that. It was signed off on by the city, so that we got that interest-free loan for 10 years, and it's a capital expenditure.
If I go 440, then I'm not giving them a raise this year. I'm leaving it at what
But
last
you
year.
keep the Red Lake loan as an additional.
Yeah, the Red Lake loan is an additional thing, they raised $500,000, we're gonna help them with the 45, but we need them to keep the budget the same.
Which should be what?
440. 440 even, and let them figure it out, cause I don't know what line it is.
And then we're gonna pay the 45.
Yeah, we got a great library, we got $1 million library for 45,000 for 8 years.
And I do think, it was a building that hadn't had any improvements for 40 years, it hadn't even had a paint job.
Well, it had some, but they weren't very good.
Well,
done.
not on the outside.
Let's be fair, we did some things, but they didn't do a very good
Well,
job on the things that we did, right?
Right, yeah.
Rob, how does that sound, 440?
Well, he doesn't,
Manage the funds.
yeah, he doesn't like it either, but now he's got 14,000, he's got 30 lines to argue, and with the board meeting and figure it out.
That's how many dollars you got to operate it.
And maybe,
Still,
and maybe we,
Mondays or Wednesdays.
or maybe they get, a few more friends in the library and pay for a few more programming costs. They got different ways to do it. I don't wanna tell them how to do
No, I
it.
don't either.
In fact, I think we should stay out of the library more than we probably were in. We have to be in it for the capital project, but some of this stuff, I think, library board has a whole lot more passion for this one than we're trying to do with passion on 20 different funds. So, I just would like to give you a flat number.
14,000.
Could we just add the number from last year, 442.9?
You what?
They wanna stay at 442 versus 440 even, cause that's exactly the same.
Hell, that's
as last year.
$2,000.
I know, but we're generous people, fine, we'll leave it the same as last year. It's a 12 grand cut. It's okay.
12,000?
Yep,
As last year.
yep, same as last year.
to say that I don't necessarily agree, but I appreciate the work that you folks do, and it is what it is.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I don't know if Scott wants to follow that, those guys, but go for it, Scott.
Is there anything left?
No, we still got a little bone.
You sat in the wrong spot. I know, you thought we sat good.
Oh, that's clever.
Go for it. Tell us what you want, what number are we on?
Page 46.
46. You're early on the book. And you said you would help with painting the airport, right? And landscaping?
You bet.
Okay,
We're there to help whenever needed
just wanted to make sure that was on TV.
and recorded.
Yeah, Tom's got to record. He was staying around just to hear that, see? He's got a tape recorder.
I think Tom can say when he calls, we do help. We're there for you. We work, yeah, everybody works together, so.
No, it's not three banks. Just for our operating. Okay, go for it.
Okay, we start with the equipment. As you know, we funded this last year the chassis for a new snowplow truck, and that is sitting back at the shop. So the plow equipment for that truck, a 62 433, that includes the, the box, the sander, the wing, the plow, everything, so. A quarter of the Mini X, 18.5 with the other departments. The used hydro seeder, well, the price we had was for a new one. The other one's between 15 to 18 years old, and we bought it used. And right now, just to fix the pump and the sprayer's about $6 grand. The trailer is shot. I mean, we had to go to Del Kellens to get tires this last time. It uses a special tire, so we definitely, the trailer's, after these tires are done, it's unusable. So we dropped that down. I think I can find a used one for about 25,000. So we took 10,000 off that.
So you don't have a used one found yet, you just think that's.
Well, I find a used one when you know how it is, when you're,
Right?
don't have the money for it, you can find them, but what's gonna happen when the money,
Well, again, I'll go back to Bev, do we have the money for this year? Can we put it in this year's budget and not have it in next year's budget and get it done so that he can use it in May and June?
well, I've been looking and I've been calling a few places. We'd have, there's some in Wisconsin and some places that we'd probably send a guy to drive because it's about $2 grand to have it shipped. We could probably do it cheaper, but I'm finding some within that range right now, so.
So you think you got money in this year's budget yet?
I don't know what's left in there, if there's enough, or.
I don't know if you have to buy it.
I'm just as of right now, we got 2 months of winter left, not for sure, but, I might have some left in my budget to get by and help with some of that cost, just because of my contract services. The snow has been way down. A lot of that money goes to Kellens, for hauling snow. So, it's hard to tell what I'm gonna have left in my budget, but I don't know
What are your contract services? What do you,
if, sometimes tree removal that we can't get, stump removal, snow removal.
cause I see you're only at 4% of the budget for this year.
It's been a good winter. Very good winter, we're not complaining.
Okay.
So, yeah. And just any other thing that we hire that we can't do, there's some things there, but yeah, so there could be, I don't know if that's what I was gonna bring up, I don't know if there's money available that we can maybe get by this year and take it out.
It'd be nice for two reasons. One is you probably need it April, May, June. If you want you got is junk, you need that one in April, May, June. Second of all, if you're buying it now, you're probably getting a decent price on it. If you're gonna buy it in July, you might not get a decent price. So I just think that we should move the 25 to this year's budget and take it out of last year's, this one coming up. And if we're not quite there, we'll have to adjust the budget up a little bit.
You mean this year?
Yeah, for June, we do an amendment and stuff like that.
Yep.
I'm I'm just saying it's kinda silly for me to sit there and say you can't have one until July first, when it is prime season.
If you got some chicken, Scott, is there some around?
Yeah, I've been actually on the internet, there's,
So if we said, yeah, go buy, you can get one tomorrow.
well, yeah, just give me a little bit of time, yeah, but not tomorrow, but yeah. I mean, some of them, you know, there's Kansas City, I've been dealing with a guy that rents them and sells everything down there, but then there's some in, Wisconsin, you know, but then you gotta figure on freight to get it here, otherwise we send a guy up there. But do I do it with the weather? You know, it might take, I just gotta make it, if we're gonna send a guy up there and pick up
But
an
there's
8-hour
some
drive.
available.
There are some available right
That's
now,
all
yeah.
I needed. All right.
Puxatony Phil says their spring's right around the corner, so.
Good enough for Puxatawny, it's good enough for us, right?
That's right.
So I propose we take the 25 out, and throw it into this year.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay? And then, just that power rake we took out, we can get by without that. That's just, to get the ground prepared, you know, before we hydroseed it. We've been using, water departments out there on their skid loader, but I think that's been here since I've been here, and the teeth, it's just getting wore down, and so we took that out. The 25 new flag poles and brackets and flags are for the downtown Central Avenue here. The poles have been here since I've been here, and I think they've been here longer than that, and I've been here 20 years. We found some new poles, they're just a different diameter, they're smaller, so we have to order new brackets to go with them. So we just need to update that, that's what that's for. The snow blower for the loader, it's 9 years old. There is some things that need to be done to it that I don't feel comfortable doing, so we have to have out of Sioux Falls work on it. And it is a wireless connect between the loader and the blower. We do need to have some updates done to that. So that's what that 2,800 was for, and we actually put that into vehicle supplies up there. And then the